Hello, Bern. How are you?
Hey, I'm
It's
good.
like you're right there.
It's like there's no like dividing line.
I
between-
know. It's so crazy. It's good day. Hello, everybody. We are the Bodacious Rant with Bern and Rye. You know, your handsome fellows
Your
here.
dynamic duo.
I can't think of any names. You had me at that one.
Yeah, that's
no.
it. That's all I got.
That's all. I got, yeah. Anyways, oh man, so it's an exciting month so far. You know, there's been a lot of reveals. Like Snake Eyes finally got a first trailer. Not really thrilled by it. The movie season's picking up more, and what I'm most excited for coming out this week, which we got to see in theaters a week before.
Those who wish me dead.
No, we're not talking about that today.
Oh wait, no,
No, we're not.
That's not the one. No.
I prefer not to talk about that one.
Let's just not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about
The
that.
less said about that one, the better. Which one was the other one? Oh, that's right.
I mean, if our shirts are any indication, I think that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about Zack Snyder's Netflix film, Army of the Dead, which it's only in Cinemark theaters for this week until it drops this Friday, the 21st.
Yeah, I also saw it was like an Alamo Draft House and like the Chinese theater, but mainly like the big chain is going to be probably Cinemark. Honestly,
It's definitely Cinemark, and I was thinking why we couldn't see it at AMC was because of just, you know, that whole dispute that AMC had with like Universal and how they're streaming they were going to stream their stuff or release straight to streaming. So there was that whole deal. So I doubt AMC's really wanted to do that with Netflix, even though they're doing it with HBO. So it's a little, they must have had a deal worked out with that. But
yeah.
anyways, it was quite the treat to see it at Cinemark, because this is definitely one of those movies that it's so epic. It's got such a grand scale.
Absolutely.
Anything Zack Snyder involved, in all honesty, needs to be seen in theaters. And I was not disappointed by it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the guy is a visual, you know, cinematic, like artist, basically. You know, like regardless of what you think about like the quality of his movies, you know, they always look good, and to be able to see that on like the biggest possible screen that we could, that was a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
I mean, I would love to see it on like a Dolby or maybe if I had the time, I would say we should go to the Chinese theater, just because I'm not thrilled by the seating being a bigger person. It's a little tight.
Very
in there,
tight, very tight fit.
But honestly, that theater does have that like that majesty feeling where like you're sitting in a hall of movies kind of thing, like an opera house almost for films. So
Yeah, there's something really like operatic about it.
Yeah.
And you know, given the Zack Snyder subject matter, it's pretty operatic in the storytelling, and I think that would lend itself well.
But I'm still glad we got to see it in general. Yeah, it was basically everything you want in a Zack Snyder film. It's got great looking characters, a solid plot, the deconstruction of a topic, which is like the zombie mythology and what it really could be.
Yep, a little bit of social commentary.
A lot of social commentary, and just a fun ride, especially the action. He does not fail in this one. This is another movie where I feel like he perfected the slow motion action, kind of like 300 and like Justice League. I think those were like some of the best examples of him using the slow motion capture for those movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for this one, the action was really cool because we had already seen him do zombie action before in his directorial debut, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so we've seen him play in the zombie world before, but this one was a lot more of a heightened zombie movie. Because, I mean, in this one, the zombies are a little bit more crazier. If you've seen the trailer, you know there's a zombie tiger in there, too. So, so it's like, you know, they really kicked it up a notch. And this is very much a more grand and explosive and just wildly out there zombie action movie. And I thought he handled that really, really well. When the action does kick in, it really kicks in.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember... not last year, maybe the year before. I don't really remember, to be honest. But that's when at like a Comic-Con they had, you know, the set picture of the cast essentially going into it. Because basically, for those of you who don't know or haven't heard of this movie, you know, this guy Dave Bautista's character Scott Ward, he is recruited by a business tycoon character like Hiroyuki Sanada, and he asks him to set up a team to go into Las Vegas, which is now basically ground zero for a zombie apocalypse, and basically retrieve $200 million from the safe underground the Strip. And so it's basically a heist movie, a zombie movie, survival film, and you know, it was just awesome. I forgot where I was going with that, to be honest. But yeah, I wasn't okay. Yeah, back to the set thing. I'm sorry. So yeah, the set photo, I was like, what the hell is this about this? I mean, I just kind of thinking like, I don't know how it'll do. But then, the second trailer came, like there was a teaser trailer that came out a couple months ago. I thought, okay, I'm interested. Looks interesting. And even though that was the trailer, it's like, that was like a minute. Not even, what the hell is, this is not a trailer, this is a teaser. But then that last trailer they did like a month or two ago.
Yeah, the one that we talked about.
That got me hooked. Yeah, just because, we got to see more of these characters, their motivations a little bit, their interactions together. And yeah, the zombie tiger at the very end of that trailer was like, I'm sold. Let's do it. Let's get into it. And fun fact, if you guys haven't seen it, the white tiger in that movie, if you guys have been watching Netflix the last year, was his set designers or like part of his
visual
effects team. They actually went down to Florida where Carol Baskins and her tiger zoo is, like her little like a sanctuary kind of place that she calls it. When really, I'm not going to get into it right now. It's a whole thing, a whole conspiracy down there. But so I thought that was kind of funny. And he keeps saying, yeah, we didn't see the documentary until after the fact we did it. Yeah. So I think that's kind of him saying, yeah, no, I'm a little ashamed we did that.
Like if we had known before how crazy this lady was, we wouldn't have worked.
We wouldn't have done it. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, and it was, again, I can't get enough of it. So I'm going to give my rating now just because we're keeping this non-spoiler until it drops this week. And I'm going to give it a strong 4 out of 5, dude.
Nice.
It was up there. I'm just a huge Zack Snyder fan. It didn't really, I've always liked his movies, never really given him much thought, but then seeing like the turmoil it went through with Warner Brothers and seeing how Justice League came out on HBO Max this year, I'm definitely a Snyder fan, hence my shirt here, if you can see what's going on, and his shirt as well. But yeah, and I'm an admirer of his work. People love Spielberg, people love Alfred Hitchcock, and Snyder's one of my directors I hold at a standard. So that's my rating, Bert.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and agree with you. I'm gonna go and give it a big 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed myself with this movie. All the characters were great. The actors who played them did. I mean, the characters themselves were very, I guess, I don't want to say one note, but they were just, there wasn't much to them. But the characters brought a lot of dimension into them in their performances, and it made me like them also. When things starts hitting the fan, it's like, oh man, it really hurts seeing a lot of them go because it's a zombie movie. Not all of them are gonna make it out, and the credit to the zombie movie is if you care about the characters when they do start getting picked off. And for me, it was very much that case where I was like, I really got attached to these characters, and I want to see more of them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of death scenes. Actually, the first one, I was like, what? Now? This is what happens? I mean, again, we're not trying to spoil it for you guys, but the cast includes, obviously Dave Bautista, Ana de la Reguera, which I hope I'm saying that right. She was Encarnacion from Nacho Libre. Yep. And she's been in shows like Narcos and that one Danny McBride show off of HBO. I forgot what it's called. He was the baseball player.
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down. She was in that for a season or two. And Samantha Wynn, who's been one of Zack Snyder's characters throughout, just kind of like how Quentin Tarantino has Zoe Bell as a stunt woman. Mm-hmm. Samantha Wynn is his Zoe Bell, for all his movies, mm-hmm. And it has Theo Rossi, Hiroyuki Sanada, Tig Notaro, which I don't want to say into anything, but her part was great, and there's a lot more than just her performance, which is why she was great in that. Mm-hmm.
Omari Hardwick was great.
Omari Hardwick was awesome.
Yeah, him and the German actor Matthias Schweighöfer, however you say his name.
Say that? Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know how to pronounce his name.
It's hard with German.
But them two were like they almost stole the show for me in the movie. Their relationship and how it develops throughout the movie was really great to see, and they provided a lot of the comedy in the movie, especially Matthias. So yeah, that made it a lot of fun. Like Ryan said, the cast is just really good across the board.
I mean, I didn't really think about it until you pointed out, but them being one note, it can, for those of you, I know I'm critical when it comes to certain characters and how there's just nothing special to them. But when it comes to a movie like this, such an ensemble piece, it is hard to kind of dive into them. Yeah. But like he said, the actors do a great job of making these characters one note come off more organic and more dimensional. Especially, like I said, the first death that happens, I really like that character, even though they had hardly anything to say and hardly anything to do. Mm-hmm. But their screen presence really brought that on a lot more. And Dave Bautista, he shined as the lead actor. I'm really glad that we got to see him. That he helmed something on his own. So I definitely say if you're a fan of that, go see it. And the zombies.
Zombies.
Now, one of my coworkers at work is a huge zombie fan. He loves movies like that. If anything, he says there's a lot of zombie references. I think that's a good thing. But I personally didn't notice it. I was so into this movie that I just thought, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, I remember thinking in the theater, like, oh shit. And this is the first movie in a while. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of scenarios. The one in particular where I was really tense in the theater, just like, oh my gosh, like you could feel like a pin drop in the room with how the whole situation played out.
Almost like how we felt like when we saw Sicario, where it was just like anything bad could happen at any moment. It's like, oh God, oh boy. But, oh man. And even the costume design with the zombies. And again, I know it's zombies, but at least when you see this movie, you'll know what I mean, at least with a couple of those characters and how they looked. It was just great, dude. I can't wait to see it. I'm tempted to go back to the theater before it comes on Netflix again. Like, I know I have AMC A-List and I save money with that, but this is a movie I did not mind paying for one bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. And just to go back to what you said about the costume design, it really does a good job of having fun with the setting of Las Vegas. You know, it just lends itself so well to having a lot of these like really weird and crazy looking zombie characters, and the two main ones that we get to see throughout the movie, their looks and the lore behind them was one of the coolest things about this movie. This has got to be easily some of the coolest zombies I've seen in any zombie movie ever.
Yeah, that is definitely up there. Like, it's I don't know. I was so amazed by it. Like, and I mean, it's not a perfect 5 out of 5. There were a couple things I was like, but it's mostly just because there's much more I wanted with it. This is a movie that leaves you wanting more, not necessarily me questioning it too much. Because, for those of you who don't know, this is like a multi-contract deal with Netflix, or what's a project film with Netflix kind of thing, where they're going to do a prequel film, they're going to do an animated series, and there are rumors that he's doing 2 and 3. So this could be a whole new franchise for Netflix, which it basically is, but it could lead to more films. And I did see one article where they were talking about maybe bringing Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck back, who are Batman and Superman in his movie, which I think would be really cool. But no, again, nothing's confirmed with the sequels or anything. But this movie definitely set up the possibility for sequels.
Yeah, it did a really good job of as one way, just making a really good and interesting story on its own, but building up this like world that you just want to keep coming back to. And then like you said, with the whole Netflix deal going on, with a lot of other streaming service getting their properties back and doing a lot of more projects with those properties, Netflix has to really build out their own original content. And Army of the Dead is one of those, and you can tell that they've got a gold mine on their hands with this property, because there's just so much crazy stuff that you can do with it.
Oh, it's gonna be on repeat for me. Kind of like how when Justice League came out, I watched that movie straight for like a week.
Same.
This is gonna be the same thing. And before we finish up, Burn, there have been a lot of criticisms of this movie. I think the biggest thing that every critic I've read, or kind of trust for the most part, like reliable reviewer, the only thing they really have to bog down is the runtime. Now, it is 2.5 hours of this.
Right.
And Zack Snyder, like Dawn of the Dead and 300, are some of his shorter movies. They're only around like an hour and a half each. But then when it gets to like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League at 4 hours.
Yeah, and then Batman vs. Superman at 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's like, we're talking about the Ultimate Cuts and the Snyder Cut himself. Yeah. How did you feel about the runtime, in all honesty?
To be honest, it didn't even bug me at all. Like, I had, at no point did I feel the runtime at all. And even just saying that, once the movie ended, I was like, oh, I wanted more. I kind of wanted more from the movie. And I'm not saying that I didn't get enough from it, but I just loved being in that world so much. And I could have gone even longer, to be honest. But that's just me personally. I don't mind longer movies. But I could definitely see, some people who do not like the longer movies to, I guess, have issues with the runtime. But for me personally, I didn't. And I'm sure when it comes to Netflix, if anybody feels at any point that it is taking a little while, they can always just pause it or stop it. That's one of the cool things about streaming.
Yeah, you have that convenience of seeing it at home. Honestly, I went into it thinking, how is the time? I honestly did try and keep an eye on like the time and anything, but honestly, I couldn't give a shit when I saw it, dude. I was so into it. And yeah, at the very end, I was like, damn it, that's it. Son of a bitch, I want more. I need more. Like, what the hell?
Again, that was the Kylo Ren meme, just more,
Yeah.
more.
But like I said, and I really do hope we see more sequels come from it. I mean, if Netflix is smart, they will keep making this, and this could be like one of those, like, besides a series, this is a film franchise for Netflix. Because I know they're working on like Extraction 2, and I can't really think of anything else. Have they actually done multiple movies?
No. I mean, I'm not sure. They've been mostly doing series and stuff, and I know with like
And one-off movies.
and thing like The Witcher, where they have the series, and now they're gonna have like an animated show on top of that too. And then we've heard that Assassin's Creed is another IP that they're gonna be working with. You know, either movies or cartoons and stuff. Again, they're very much in the beginning of building their own IP to bring people once all this other stuff gets taken away from their streaming service. But I mean, since we've both been gushing about this movie so far, why is yours a 4 out of 5? What was the things that did bug you a little bit enough to knock off a point from it?
I didn't know if we were going to say that for the spoilers. But I guess I will
guess
say one thing.
if it is a spoiler, we can say that for that. But I guess in a non-spoiler way, what were the issues that you did have with the movie? Because I know for me, I'll have to say that it was when the characters, characters do get taken out. But for me, it had to be the rate at which they do start getting picked off, because it seemed like everything just hit the fan at once and all these characters started getting taken off one by one, and I was like, oh. But that was more a credit to how much I really did like those characters and didn't want to see them go more, as it was an issue with the movie that I had itself. So I guess it was just a little bit more of a personal thing that I didn't want them to get taken away so quickly between each other. Maybe if there was a little bit of space in between the character deaths, I would have enjoyed that a little bit more.
Honestly, I really can't think about it, but I know I guess there are only a couple issues visually, just because, again, I'm going to save it for the spoiler section, but there were a couple things I noticed. I'm like, it's a little not as consistent as I would hope. And then I guess maybe just like costume design with some of the characters. I think some of them could have been a little more unique. Being a zombie apocalypse, I was kind of hoping maybe a couple of them had a little bit cooler weapons. Again, this is just me being personally picky with it.
Yeah, this is just me being nitpicky too.
But honestly, the movie dwarfs that completely. My issues are pretty minimal. I really had not a lot of issues with this. Maybe I'll have more when we do the spoilers, how I can watch it all over again at home, really soak it in, kind of maybe take notes, make a practice exam. I don't know. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see it again.
Absolutely.
This is definitely a movie that has some rewatchability to it, especially for me, because I could watch. I mean, I could watch Lord of the Rings like 50,000 times and I'll still love it. So I don't care. I don't care about length. But for those of you who do, you may want to watch this in parts, or just take your time watching it, or just wait for our spoiler review to check it out. I don't know, but yeah. And anything else, Bern, you want to mention about this film?
No, I mean, I guess just the other little nitpick I had was just, again, these are very, very, very little nitpicks. It's just a character choice that was made at the very beginning of the movie. I get why it was made, so the plot could happen, but it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, that seemed like a little bit of a dumb decision. But, it is a horror movie, and I guess if, with Zack Snyder saying that this is very much like a deconstruction on like genre and stuff, I'm sure it was one of those things where he was poking fun at the genre, how some characters make really dumb decisions for the plot to be able to move forward. So that was just one of those little things for me. But again, like Rye said, in the grand scheme of things, it's just very much a minor nitpick and not something that I think would completely derail the whole movie.
Yeah, it's nothing like, Those Who Wish Me Dead, where I had legitimate problems with.
Oh yeah, that one had just like legit structural issues. I mean, ugh.
But anyway,
if you guys enjoyed that movie, good. I mean, I'm glad some people did, but I did not. No. I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, this movie's the one to watch for sure. But that'll do it for us for our non-spoiler review. So like I said, guys, it comes out Friday, May 21st on Netflix everywhere. Mm-hmm. So please do check it out, especially if you're a Snyder fan, Dave Bautista fan,
zombie fan, heist movie fan.
Yeah, heist movie fan. And if you just want some, solid action with a little bit of horror mixed into it.
Absolutely.
But until then, Bern, I'll see you later.
I'll see you another time, man. Y'all go check it out. Let us know what you thought about it once you see it. If you haven't seen it, are you excited to watch it? Let us know. stay bodacious, keep on ranting, everybody. Be good, be safe, and we will see you guys on the
Peace.
next one.